Hello everyone, welcome back to the Iron Leopard scale models. Today we're going to be doing a very special set, and just like the Hail Caesar and the Waterloo set, today we have a starter set. This is the Bolt Action Warlord Games Band of Brothers starter set in cooperation with Osprey Publishing and Games. And this is the second edition one, so I know we're a little bit behind. We don't have the third edition, the newest one, whatever. You don't need the newest one to be able to paint some really cool miniatures and play some really cool games. So this is the starter set. It is a thick box. It's got writing on the side. It's got, here's what the back is. It shows you everything that you get. You get the rule book, the pin markers, the German half-track, the Henelmag, the German Grenadiers, US Airborne. These are the old ones. They just came out with new ones, as well as a bunch of other stuff. And then each of the sides of the box, besides this one, show like the miniatures themselves, but I think we should just get right into it. I hope you guys have been doing well. I hope you guys watched the most recent video, which was just the quick little 2-3 minute hello and a workbench update. So this is what you get at the start. So I haven't opened anything. I haven't played around with it yet. I've been waiting to get myself set up. So this goes right here. That's just a piece for that. Here is your quick starter guide. Got some historical background. German paratrooper operations demonstrated the successful tactical application of the airborne soldier. So, and this is for both sides, and then it leads into like fielding your first game, how to advance, how to use the order die, as well as how to play Bolt Action, the game itself. Now it looks like on the very back here, it has a quick little play sheet. So that's nice. And then looks like you get that same play sheet right on top here. And also what I found interesting is it comes with a little ruler on the bottom here. I think you can cut this out and use it for your games. Actually, and it comes with another one right on the top there. Hope you guys can see that. All right, so let's get into what comes in the box. So, and on the inside, you get to see all these different things that you can get. Armies, different tanks, all of that good stuff. So we're gonna set this right over here, actually. So the first thing we're gonna look at is, this is the Ruined Farmhouse. Now, they've used this in a bunch of different tooling. They've used this for their Napoleonic line. They've used this for their Bolt Action line, for Hail Caesar. It's just a large ruined farmhouse that they can use effectively in any skirmish game. So here, I'm trying to do a little zoom up so you guys can see exactly what you get. You get, this looks to be the front, so, and you can build this however you want to. It comes in about, can build about a house and a half with even a second floor. So there's this side of it, and the mold lines are honestly pretty minuscule compared to other terrain I've seen and done for myself and on the channel. I have done, this was probably the most recent piece of terrain I did, which was a 1/72 like ruined corner of a house, and this was a lot of fun to build. But this looks, you know, it looks like it could take paint fairly well. Very little mold lines right there. So this is the first sprue of that. And then the second sprue is this is the main wall for the hamlet. This is obviously your chimney. This is one of the walls. We got some of the corners as well, and these look really nice and clean. Even though this is a tooling from 2017, it actually still fairly holds up well. And the best part about it is you can paint it whether you want it to represent a farmhouse in Italy during 1943, or if you want it to represent a farmhouse in Russia during the 1800s. So it can fit almost anything. Next in the box, we got the rule book for Bolt Action. This is the miniature. I think this is the A4 size. And like I said, this is second edition, so we're an edition behind, but that's okay. You can still play the game regardless of what edition you have, and you can still paint the miniatures, which is the main part of all of this. Has rules for every country, has vehicle, headquarters, very simple rule book there. get our order die. So it doesn't actually come with enough to do the whole group. So that's kind of unfortunate. You'd have to mix both of these together because I'm pretty sure a standard bolt action game, you're supposed to have 12 each. And this is 5. So it also comes with some mini die, which is good. So, you know, it's a good little intro into the game, I guess is a good way to say it. So let's get all this stuff out of the way so we can really start to look at the miniatures that you're about to get, because that's the key part of the game. So first, it looks like this is going to be our US Airborne sprue. This is, like I said, the old tooling. So you're going to get a good amount of these guys. I'm pretty sure it is 24 of these guys. So you're going to get 6 figures per sprue. It looks like you have this one here is prone. This one here is standing kind of in a squatting firing position. This one looks like he's leaning into it. We got a kneeler, we got a runner, and then we got someone who's just kind of standing idly by. So these are pretty good molds, even for being 2016. Lots of different options for equipment here. I see mags for submachine guns, pistols, tactical knives, grenades. There's even a pigeon. I don't know if you guys can see that right there, that pigeon. We have a Bar automatic assault rifle, M1 Grand, Thompson, lots of Thompsons and M1 Grands. I believe that's one M1A2 carbine. And then we have a 30 cal, one of the M1903 machine guns that they would use in their squads and platoons, as well as all these arms right here. And then let's take a look at these heads if we can. So these are some pretty good quality, especially for 2016. You're gonna get 10 heads per sprue. Actually, you're gonna get 15, which is pretty nice considering that you're getting 6 figures. So that's a pretty good amount of customization that you can really get out of these miniatures. There we go, it's focused in. So and the detail looks good. It looks like it could take decals pretty well if you have the decals for the Airborne unit. And like I said, you're gonna get 4 of these. These are identical. Also, here's their stowage, and here's one of the arms that has a machete. You know, people love using that with the Mohawk guys. So here's these 4, right? Is that, are there more? There might be more. No, I think that is all of it. So you get 4 right there. So that's perfect right there. Good amount right there. Set those off to the side. And here is the Sd.Kfz 251, and then this is the D variant of that. Came in this nice little bag. You'll find a use for some other time. And then, so if I move this all a little bit, so this is a very nice mold. It is also, now most of Warlord's vehicles they do through Italeri, and this looks like it's a 2016 tooling as well. Here's your upper half. You got your 2 road wheels and then the spare wheel at the front. Your stowage sides, your seats that would go in the handle mag. And then here we got 4 crew members, all that would be sitting in the half track. Now here is a nice addition. You do get the small gun shield and the medium machine gun, the MG34 or MG42, that you can put on top instead of the PAC 36 mount, which I think is nice. It's a good addition because, you know, sometimes you probably wouldn't want to run a anti-tank gun on a half track, especially if you're just starting out the game and you want to kind of have a little bit more flavor. It might be better actually to have it where it is the medium machine gun, especially when you're fighting against all US Airborne, which are infantry. There's no vehicles there. And actually, one downside of this too is that the US Airborne, they don't have on any of these sprues any heavy weapons besides that machine gun themselves. So they don't have anything that's going to be able to destroy this vehicle unless they get close enough to throw grenades or take it over. So you're kind of at a struggle there if you like, there's no bazookas, there's no anti-tank grenades or Piats, so you're kind of for a loss there. And then here is the bottom half. You get the rear MG34, you get your half tracks right here, your transmission, extra fuel cans, extra seats for the driver, as well as the bottom hull and then the very bottom of the model. So that's nice. Nice little addition to get at least one vehicle in the set. And if I look for it, I should be able to find the last sprue right here. So here is the Pack 36 cannon for that. And it does come with a loader that is loading a shell for it, actually, if we get that close enough. Very beautiful gun shield. You can actually change some of the seats to stored ammo for the Pack 36. And then here's the cannon itself. It will need to be drilled out if you want it to be as detailed as possible. Now, sadly, this gunner probably can't be used with the MG34, so you might have to buy the separate gunner for that. A little unfortunate. And then finally, to round off the half track, we got right here, these are the decals for it. Oh, actually, this one is a 2012 tooling. It's got the basic numbers. It's got the license plates in German. You got the Iron Cross for black and white, and then just the pure white one. Very simple and standard decal sheet. As well as that, finally, for your last group of actual people that are in the box, you get 2 sprues of German infantry. So, and this is going to be 1, 2, 3. This is also going to be 6, so you're going to get a total of 12. So 12 of these guys plus the half track versus 16 US Airborne. So it's a pretty even deal, but it does make it difficult with the half track, especially with no anti-tank weapons, compared to this group of German Grenadiers, which I believe are mid to late war, which they actually get a Panzerfaust. So for these guys, you got one kind of leaning into his weapon, you got one standing, one kneeling, another guy with kind of like a trench coat, another guy also standing, and then another guy leaning into his weapon. And you can tell these are late war. They have the STG-44s, the first assault rifle in history. They have their Kar-98s, their Gewehr M43s. They have some captured Russian PPSHs and then some MP40s as well. And then this comes with one base on each of these sprues, and then the remaining bases are still in the box for both figures. So let's give you a look at these guys. So you'll get 10 heads, which is nice. So you'll actually get almost double the amount of heads that you would need. So starting right here, you can see that pretty nicely. That's very nice detail on those heads. Very crisp and clean. Moving over to this side, it's also very crisp and clean. And then moving all the way down. These guys do look very good, very well molded and sculpted. Not a ton of mold lines or anything like that. We'll show you the back. Plenty of spots to put their different pouches, their bags, their shovels, all of that good stuff on there. And then finally, what else we got? We have your pin markers if you're going to play the game. These are used to show when units are being pinned. And for bases, you're going to get one sheet here, which is 25. Plus, you're going to get these 2, which are going to make 10 in total. So now you're looking at 35 plus the 2 that are on that one. Plus, you do get an option for this large base if you wanted to mount one of those like squads of US Airborne as like a heavier machine gun team, which would be a group of 3 or 4. You can put them on one of these bigger, I believe this is a 40mm base to fit all 4. Kind of similar to what this group of German Grenadiers is here that I have. Finally, you're going to get the high explosive marker as well as other tools and tokens that you use for bolt action. I don't quite know what all these represent. So, but you get this. This is your high explosive splash marker to show when the splash damage hits, what units it hits, and how it hits. In this as well, you're going to get instructions quickly for the Pack 36 half track, the handle mag. You're going to get a quick little instruction guide on the German Grenadiers, how they've painted them, how the sprues are. On the back, you can also see they get all this camo, the bases are done, MG42s. Now the decals, if you want to put decals on their shoulders or on their helmets, you can't actually do it. You would have to get the decals online, which kind of stinks. Same with the US Airborne, they don't have their patches or markings or their officer or sergeant stripes. And then this actually, on the back of this card compared to this card, we can see that this actually shows you how you can set up veteran squads, tank hunters if anti-grenades are taken. And then here is that base being used for a crew for the medium machine gun. And that is everything in the box. So that is the Warlord plastic kit, Band of Brothers, the second edition one. We'll go over and show you guys the minifigs one more time so you guys can see how they look, see if you guys like them. I don't know if they're still selling the second edition, but if they are, it might be a good steal to pick up if you're looking for minis. Compared to the one now where it's each team gets a half track plus a group of figures, it's probably not as balanced. But as you can see, these guys are excellently molded, really well. Have plenty of weapons to choose from, especially if you have other kits that you plan on bashing with them. Here is another German Grenadier sprue. Here is part of the half track sprue. Overall, it is very nicely detailed. It would take minimal time to really clean this up with like a file or a hobby knife and get these guys, you know, built and ready to paint. And then finally, we got your four sprues of the US Airborne. Got these good looking heads up here. We'll show you guys one more time how they look. Got a couple yelling, a couple shouting, a couple with mohawks. A couple guys looking very presentable. A couple guys with more webbed helmet design compared to the smooth helmets. You could also probably throw in a couple leaves in there, or if you have some putty, you could probably do it yourself. And then just to show you guys kind of similar to what it might look like, here is from a different set, here is a US paratrooper that we will show off. So this is kind of what they look like put together. This guy is put together with not a Tamiya extra thin cement, but a little bit thicker, the Revell stuff. As you can see, he's got his submachine gun, his M3. This is how I did the stowage on him. All of his backpack and all that stuff. Here's this side view. So they look quite nice compared, you know, they are heftier compared to the 1/72nd scale ones. And they do look quite good with all the detail they have. And then here is a German that we will show off as well. This guy's more of a German officer, meant to be a sergeant or a lieutenant. So expert detailing as well, really is nice. And then that's how I did the stowage for this guy. His helmet on his side here, since he's wearing his field cap, and he is holding his hand up, commanding soldiers, and he's got his pistol drawn and ready. So that's what they look like all put together. Pretty hefty, pretty big. A lot of good details to paint there when we start painting these guys. So there you have it. That is the Bolt Action 2nd Edition Band of Brothers starter set with your US Airborne, your German half-track, and your German Grenadiers. Obviously for the late war, 1944, the invasion of Normandy all the way to Market Garden, a little bit some other summer and spring and fall offensives before we get into the Ardennes campaign. So if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can leave them at the bottom of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. We have a few more kits to review, and then we will definitely be starting to paint these and posting these on the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.